watch this video if you would like to have a complete and utter energy shift, an energy makeover when it comes to your avoidant partner, ex, specific person not being in your life right now. Maybe they left, maybe you broke up, maybe you're not talking anymore, maybe they didn't text back, whatever. You might have felt really, really bad about that, and it feels like you've lost them, because the thing is that you might have been spending quite a lot of time trying to get them, trying to make the relationship work, trying to convince them, trying to talk to them, trying to make them feel safe enough to open up, trying to do whatever you could do to be a safe partner for them. And if you were showing up as anxious, what you needed was an emotionally safe partner, and what this person mirrored to you was your own wounding. But your own wounding is not it is your responsibility, but in a relationship, you are co-creating. You are co-creating the relationship. So yes, you have a responsibility to work on yourself, to understand yourself, but in a relationship, for it to work, both people need to be doing that. And when you have some level of consciousness and awareness, and you're matched with someone who is unwilling to look at themselves, to take responsibility for their reactions, to their feelings, to their lack of willingness to communicate with you, to have a conscious relationship, then you will feel like you're lugging this person up a hill, and it will feel very draining. Have you ever had the experience of being single and you're like, oh my God, I'm actually pretty good and everything's all right. I don't really have anything that I need. Everything's fine. If I meet someone, that would be great. But if not, I'm okay. And then you meet someone and suddenly you've got needs that you didn't even have before. Suddenly you're having feelings and needs and uncomfortable sensations when you're in a dynamic with someone where they are avoidant. They're not having direct communication. They don't like it when you bring things up that might feel a bit uncomfortable. They haven't got the self-awareness or the capacity to hold the space for you as you go through your own triggers. And in an ideal world, and what we all should be aiming for, especially if you're a self-aware person like most of you guys who are watching my content, you're learning about yourselves, you're doing courses, you're learning about self-concept, about healing, and you have a lot of self-awareness. So therefore, you know that there's stuff going on with you and that this person will mirror stuff to you. So you're doing the work, you're taking responsibility for that. But when we're in a relationship with someone who's not doing that, we feel like it's all on us to change and shift and move the way the relationship is going. And we feel like when I heal, I'm going to make this person different. Or when I heal, I won't be so reactive to them. But actually, our nervous system is so highly attuned to our emotional environment, okay? And that includes, and especially includes, the people that we are with. Okay, so if you think about it like this, as an extreme example, if someone comes in the room and they're really angry and they're, acting in a way where it feels unsafe, your body will tell you about that. Your body will react to that. We know that we don't really want to be in that environment where someone is behaving like that, so we move away from them. And that's the way we create a boundary for ourselves. But when we're in a relationship, our triggers of I'm not good enough basically say, I need to get this person to prove to me that I'm good enough by acting differently and validating my feelings, and then I'm going to feel good enough. But what we're missing is the fact that we actually have needs, and for communication, for transparency, for the ability to share what your actual experience is, not for them to fix it or for them to make it better, but for them to just be a safe space for you to experience your experiences. Okay, so like I said, in an ideal world, what we're looking for is to be able to be and manifest this, guys. Just manifest this. Being with someone who is as self-aware as you and is as willing to do the work on themselves as you. Okay, and it might not be that you meet them and they're there, they've got it and everything's going to be peaceful because they've got it. You'll always be growing at different rates. But if you have someone who is willing and interested in reflecting on themselves, you will feel much safer. So with an avoidant, they don't really want to do this because it's too painful. It's very, very painful for them to experience their feelings, and they don't like the feeling of feeling like they're being made to be responsible for somebody else's experience, because they've experienced such a lot of shame and pain in their life before this. So when you come to them and you say, oh, when you did that, I felt this, not to blame them, but to just share your experience. And they go, oh God, why are you making another problem? And, you've always got something going on, or whatever gaslighty thing it is they say to you, or if they shut it down, or they, whatever they say that invalidates your experience, there's a part of you that goes, oh my God, now I need to get them to understand what I'm trying to say. And you feel horribly misunderstood and disconnected. And of course you do. Someone has completely invalidated your experience. Okay, so as you can see, where we've got to in this video right now is that you haven't lost someone who is not willing. You have lost someone who is not willing to do that, which is a benefit to you, because it's very stressful, very, very stressful trying to get someone to be different. Right? It's really stressful trying to get someone to see your point of view if they're not willing. And the fact is that they need to be willing themselves, and they need to be motivated from their own inner motivation to do it. And the fact that they're not has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. And it shows you their own woundedness. And the mirror to you is that you're probably making it mean something about you. You're probably making it mean that you need to fix yourself, that you need to just respond differently to triggers, to not react to the 3D and all of this kind of stuff. And all of that is you basically saying, I'm not good enough as I am, and I'm not capable of having a loving relationship. And all of these negative beliefs that this is mirroring to you. And this is what needs to change. Because actually, you being able to be away from them right now will be able to will give you the space to validate what you needed, which was a safe container. Like, if you think about it, relationships, especially intimate relationships, are the most important relationship, the one that you're with all the time, in your life. Because you're with this person every day. So you have to be able to feel emotionally safe. And I think it's something that really goes missed. Like, it's not really talked about, is it, in society? Like, it's not really talked about to men or to women. Like, we don't talk about it enough. But emotional safety is like the key, the everything, to the foundation to what makes a relationship work. And that includes, trust, open communication, emotional stability, trusting that that their reactions will be safe. Okay, everybody has moods, everybody has ups and downs, everyone is a little bit toxic. So we're not saying that someone needs to be perfect, because that doesn't exist. But to at least some degree, there needs to be a level of stability and predictability with this person, where that you can show up as you. And you need to know that you're good enough for you to be able to seek and choose and express those needs, and to know within yourself that when someone is not doing that, that's your red flag. That's a red flag for you to know that that's about them, not about you. Okay? And it's not a call for you to panic and think, oh my God, I'm not good enough. You are good enough. You're so good enough. You're everything. And this is why you have this connection with this person, because this person knows that you've got something that they don't, which is a connection to life, a connection to your emotions, a connection to the thing that makes us experience this world for what it is. So that is why avoidants are often attracted to people who are deeply feeling. And you have shown this person something that they haven't got in themselves, and they are drawn to it, but they don't know how to access it yet. And you cannot enable them. You just can't enable them by allowing it and allowing it and allowing it. You have to know what you want is valid, right, and true, and that you are worthy of that. And there's nothing wrong with you for having asked for what you needed. So when an avoidant goes away and you're not in contact anymore, it feels very horrible because it feels like they just don't care, because they don't respond emotionally straight away. Very often they don't respond with a big, oh no, I've lost this person, not until later. Okay. And you, on the other hand, are feeling so sad that this connection that you love has not become the thing that you wanted it to be. So what you've got to do is just know that you haven't lost anything when you have lost someone who is unwilling to do the work. What you have lost in this moment, but you haven't lost, is the potential. You've actually lost the potential of this person that you wanted them to be. But in reality, they were not being that, were they? If they were highly avoidant, they were not showing up for you. So you haven't lost anything. You've gained freedom. You've gained clarity. And actually, you have needs, but you also have things that you don't need in your life. I'll tell you what you don't need. You don't need someone who is not able to regulate their emotions. You don't need someone who is not willing to have open, honest communication with you. You don't need someone who is erratic with their communication, hot and cold. You don't need someone who says they're there and says they're not and can't decide if they want to be with you or not. And you don't need any other avoidant behaviours in your life, because it creates instability in you and your nervous system goes, oh, something's wrong. Actually, there's nothing wrong with you. How many times has someone said to you, I've had it in relationships before where an avoidant person has said that I've got emotional problems. And I'm like, actually, I don't have emotional problems. I just have emotions. And you don't. You're not in connection to them. And it's not that they don't have emotions, it's just they're not in connection to those emotions in the way that we are. And you want to be able to experience life with someone who is able to experience their emotions with you. And obviously, this is, I'm not saying that avoidants don't have emotions. Don't take this the wrong way, because obviously they do. There's like a deep well under there of emotions that they can't seem to access because there's a lot of fear and a lot of shame and a lot of worry and doubt covering them up. So they do avoidant behaviours, often it's unhealthy behaviours, unhelpful behaviours that make them seem toxic on the surface, or, not a stable person to be in a relationship with. And it might be even simple things like watching Netflix or, working really hard, or whatever it is that they do, shutting down, disappearing. All of those things are avoidant behaviours that keep them safe, but don't keep them safe because they're not actually experiencing deep, meaningful relationships. And I guarantee you, unless they look at themselves, they'll go to another person and they'll do the exact same thing. The exact same thing will occur, and they'll only attract someone who is unwilling to look at their own standards and to know what they need, and who needs validation. Okay, that's the kind of person they will attract, and then it will blow up in the same way later on when both of these unhealed people cannot cope with the dysfunction. Okay, nobody can kind of cope with that dysfunction, but you won't experience it if you know what your needs are, know that you're not crazy, know that you are actually well within your rights on this planet Earth to want a conscious, stable, loving, caring relationship. Okay, so if an avoidant has left, didn't reply, isn't in communication with you, brilliant. Now you get to start a clean slate and be very clear about what it is that you want. Maybe it's from this person and maybe it's from a new person. But either way, you have not lost anything by losing a dynamic like this. You have gained peace. Brilliant. So everyone's okay. You're all okay now, right? Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling. There are so many conversations that we can have about avoidance, okay? And I think I'm going to do quite a lot more videos about this because it's very interesting. And people who attract avoidance often have a lot of self-doubt, low self-esteem, and also need to look at their ability to validate their own needs and feelings, okay? And to know that whenever you're wanting a mature, loving relationship, that's okay. You know, you're not asking for too much at all. So I hope you found this video useful. If you would like any help with anything, if you would like me to talk through with you your situation, help you unravel it, help you make sense of it, help you process it, I'm very good at that, as I've been told. So any more information about that is all on my website, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.